And the advocacy between my mom and I went both ways. She started after my sister and I were born, but she became an actress. And for years and years, she was a staple in the local theater scene. And she was very good, but more importantly, she was very committed to the craft. And so when I first started doing stand-up, I was living with my parents. And some nights, my mom and I would get home at the same time. She'd get back from rehearsal, I'd get back from a show, and we'd huddle together in the kitchen eating salty snacks, talking about what we'd learned. And I was always so grateful for those little pockets of time, because it would feel like our definitions as mother and son would melt away, and it'd just be two artists saying the refrain we all need to hear to each other of like, you're doing great. Just keep going. And so I always think about my mom before I perform, and certainly before I tell those jokes. And of course, if somebody's thinking about somebody else, it probably means they're not around anymore, and that's true. My mom passed away in 2019, and most of you didn't notice that because that's how good I am at grief. Grief is like a nose job. You do it right, no one can tell. But you do have to get new headshots. Something about the light in the eyes. I miss my mom in many ways, of course, but in particular as my advocate. Because a few months after she died, my dad and I got in a fight about a joke. And I don't do it because he, won. Which extends his winning streak to my entire life. And also, it's like it's a dad giving you an opinion about a joke, so you gotta trust it. Dads are known for jokes of high quality and nuance. I mean, what is a pun, if not social critique in its shortest form? It was a joke about my father and our family and how we were moving on after my mom passed away. And he didn't like it. He didn't want me to tell it. And I understood, but I thought we should be able to talk about it. And so we were gathered together, and we were going back and forth and back and forth. And he was like, well, you can't tell that joke because it's my life. And I was like, but you're my dad. And he was like, right. And I was like, right. We couldn't resolve it, because I wanted to be heard, and he needed to stay safe. And so I agreed not to tell the joke, but I left that conversation with a clear sense of like, my pain can't be here. I guess if we're gonna heal, we're gonna do it on our own. And the next day, my dad was having surgery to treat the prostate cancer. And he underwent a successful procedure to remove the thing we have in common. And I called my sister later that afternoon, and I said, hey, just so you know, I'm not coming home for a long time. And that was February of 2020. And in March of 2020, I moved right back home. Plot B17, what's the movement policy? I'm coming for you. That's true. I moved into a small house, and at the end of the driveway was the graveyard with the 4 grave plots that my dad had bought. Before that, I lived a normal life. My girlfriend and I lived together in New York City. We had no kids and 32 succulent plants. And then we moved to a rural part of Maine, which is redundant. Describing the rural part of Maine is like describing the fun part of Catholicism, right? It's like, that's the whole thing, baby. But we moved to a rural part of Maine, and my girlfriend settled in really well because she's an introvert. And my girlfriend and I have been together a long time, but she is so introverted that when people are like, what is she like? I have to be like, oh, I don't know yet. She's got a beautiful voice, I hope. I'd love to hear it someday. I'd love to know her name. But my untitled girlfriend settled in really well, and she planted a garden in front of our house. And she planted a bunch of things, but one of the things she planted was sunflowers. And there's a really cool math to sunflowers. I don't know if you know this, but the seeds in the center, they follow the Fibonacci sequence. And so all the seeds cascade down along this golden ratio, and they overlap and create this incandescent, hopeful flower. And I know that because while my girlfriend was gardening, I was on my phone. Yeah, I was on my phone. We're all on our phones so much. We're so addicted. I just said phone, and a small part of all of our brains were like, oh yeah, my phone. I wonder what it's doing. Does it miss me too? We're on screen so much, I worry about the next generation. I'm worried I'll have a kid, they'll make eye contact, I'll have to apologize. Yeah. Be like, I'm so sorry, he's an old soul. He's just diagnosed with attention span. I mean, our phones make us sad. I think it's because they give us too much information to process at once. Like, you'll go to check the time, and your phone will be like, we've been expecting you. You got 2 texts from your crush. That's pretty good. You got an Instagram comment from your ex. You're going to need a sign for that. And you got a low balance alert, and you're checking. No savings. No, both. And the planet is drowning. No, burning. No, both. And that's just the lock screen. You don't even have to dive in to be devastated. You know what I mean? It's stressful enough checking the time. You're just like, I have less. I don't like big tech. That's why I don't like big tech. I really hate that they call themselves big tech. Doesn't that seem like they made up their own nickname? Like they switched high schools, they wanted to seem cool? Like we're doing roll call for American Industries, and we're like, okay, oil and gas, and they're like, here. Hook 'em. Okay. Technology? They're like, it's tech. It's actually big tech. It's actually big tech has a girlfriend. It's actually big tech has 2 girlfriends. The tech is big, and the big is tech, and the tech, big. We're like, great, good. Great. Has anyone seen manufacturing? And then the class is like, they moved. I really lost track of time up there. Every day felt like the same but different. Like the last 2 sentences I said. The jokes get subtler as the show goes on, which I think many of you are thinking, how? But I lost track of the days of the week, and I had to come up with a little hack to try to keep track of what day of the week it was. And you can use this. This is a good one. You can use this. Here's what I would do. Every day I would stare out the window, and then some days I'd see a garbage truck. And I'd be like, wait, I know that garbage truck. That's the garbage truck that got stuck on the road during my mom's funeral. Yeah. Got stuck on the tiny little road, and we were about to do the burial. And then the garbage truck was like, I gotta get out of here. I am underdressed. And so it starts backing up. And garbage trucks are a lot like dogs when they go in reverse. They're like, I wasn't really meant for this. So at a certain point, the truck starts backing up towards the casket. And I walk up to my sister and I go, I still think we go with the grave. And she didn't laugh at all. And then the truck drives away, and we bury my mom. And so when I see the truck, I remember that story, and I go, oh, Mom was buried on a Thursday. Hey, it's Thursday, so you can use that. If you're sick of Google Calendar. I know. We were having such a nice time. And then death popped up. And I do apologize for a perfect metaphor, but I have always loved metaphors. Always been a big fan, even when they're kind of untrustworthy. You know, like when you're reading a book, and the author's like, their eyes were licorice. And you're like, what? How? Like color or function? Is this code? Aren't words already code? This is why no one reads. Now, the other issue with metaphors is sometimes people force it where there isn't one. Like I did a leadership training for a job I had, and the leadership training was at an obstacle course, because obstacle courses help leadership. Right? Historians have always said that the reason that America defeated the British in the Revolutionary War is because George Washington kept taking the whole army ziplining. Our instructor that day was British, and he was just telling us everything we were doing was a metaphor. So we'd be like up on these elevated beams, 50 feet in the air, walking between trees, and he'd be like, this is a metaphor for when you're scared. And I was like, nope. I'm scared. And when I pass out, that'll be a metaphor for needing immediate medical attention. And this isn't like the main point of that story, but it does prove that you could be 50 feet above them and a British person can still talk down to you. But I have always loved metaphors. As somebody who thinks a lot and feels even more, metaphors are always a place to put it. Not to hide it away, but to know that it was safe, cared for. Now, I didn't always love the metaphors I had to confront after my mom passed away. It's like she dies, and then I move into a small house that stares at her grave. It's like, okay, I'll confront the grief, but maybe we don't have to be so on the nose, you know? I don't know. I'd say grief is actually my least favorite group project. Because it's like in school. There's always somebody who has to do the majority of the work. And we didn't have her. We all fell apart after my mom passed away. We all tried to put ourselves back together in different ways. My sister and my dad got really into reincarnation. Yeah. That little Eastern religious idea came off the bench, played some minutes for the Irish Catholics. In 1 week, my sister thought my mom was a butterfly, my dad thought she was a loon, and I thought she was dead. I had eyes on her. It was pretty easy to prove. Cliches are way more helpful in grief than I realized, because it's like frustrating to hear they're in a better place like a bunch of times, but that's actually way better than hearing your Uncle Mike's original take on the afterlife, right? Cliches have been smoothed over time. You don't need some jagged theory from a man known for giving unwanted shoulder rubs at Christmas. To me. The only cliche that I didn't really get is this fixation we have on the last words people say. Because it's like, I don't remember the last words my mother said to me. But a few months before she died, she said, "Do you think you'll keep your hair?" And I haven't slept since. I don't know how many times I had to tell her. It's like, I make the barber do this. But you have to use humor to move through it, even if it doesn't seem funny to anybody else. My sister and I were on the phone recently, and she just became a mother, and she was talking about how hard it is. And she said, "I don't know how mom did it." And then I said, "Well, she died young." And then we laughed forever, like two little sociopaths raised by Grammy Betty. I've written jokes I think are too dark to say on stage. For example, my mom passed away from ovarian cancer, and I started to feel guilty because I'm the youngest child. So it's like, I was the last one in there. Did I leave the oven on? And I don't say that joke to be flippant or casual about death. There was a time where I was too casual about death. In my early 20s, I was going to a lot of these going-away parties, funerals. I'm not saying they're good parties, but it's an event I attend out of social obligation, and by the end of the night, I'm in the corner talking about mortality. Babe, that's every party I go to. Also, we were going to a lot of these like Irish Catholic funerals, and those seem like boring by design, because you actually start to feel less bad about the person being dead. You're just like, well, at least they didn't have to sit through this. Which is what I said to my Aunt Molly, and now we're not allowed to sit next to each other anymore. But you need the jokes, because you can't look directly at the pain, right? It's like an eclipse. And you build that little cardboard box to look at the reflection, and you go, this is safe. This isn't, but this is. There are already so many projects with death. I mean, I wrote an obituary for my mother, and it is an honor, right, to be a published author. But there's a problem with obituaries. And it's that not everyone reads the paper. So you actually got to make a death announcement for each social media platform, for each age group or person. So you do the paper for the boomers, but then you got to do Facebook for Gen X, you Instagram for millennials, and then you do a TikTok. And I didn't want to do it, okay? I didn't want to lip sync to Katy Perry's The One That Got Away, but you got to let the kids know that we lost one.